Hello, welcome to episode 143 of the Craft House Magic podcast. My name's Ellie and I'm coming to you from Norwich in Norfolk in the UK, and today is the 26th of November. So welcome everybody and happy Thanksgiving to those of you who celebrate. I hope you've all had a lovely crafty week since the last time I've spoken to you, and I'm here to share all the things that I've been making in the last 7 days. So today I have some knitting, some embroidery, some cross stitch as well, a gadget. I have one or two confessions to show you. I've been very good for the last couple of weeks though, so I think I'm due for a confession or two. And I also have some information on my shop update at the end of the podcast. I've got a couple of announcements to make and a few new things going in the shop if you'd like to stay tuned for that. So you can find me on Instagram, Ravelry and Facebook as Craft House Magic, and I have my own website, crafthousemagik.co.uk, where I sell my hand-dyed yarns, handmade project bags, stitch markers, knitting needles from Hire, crochet hooks and also bag making supplies such as fabrics. So you can find all the links to my website and social media in the description bar down below, as well as the show notes. And I've also started to do a little menu of the timestamps of all the sections in case you want to skip any, in case you're not interested in a particular section. We have the Craft House Magic Gift Along 2020 going on in the Ravelry group and on Instagram at the moment, and that goes right until the end of December, so you have plenty of time to join in. So whether you're making gifts for people's birthdays just because, or a festive gift for Christmas for instance, that's why I've left it till the end of December, so if you do have something that you don't want to post a picture of until after Christmas, you still have plenty of time to join in, and it could also be a gift for yourself. I will be drawing for prizes for the Autumn Makes Craft Along either today or tomorrow, and I will post the winners either on the stories on Instagram or on the Ravelry thread, depending on where the winners have been picked out of. I'm just going to put a number to all the posts on Ravelry and Instagram and draw some prizes using the random number generator, so do watch out for that. We have to have some more knit-alongs and craft-alongs going on, so I've decided that we have to have a Festive Frenzy 2020 where we're making all the festive things, whether it's for Christmas or whatever sort of festive season you like to celebrate. Come and join in, and it can be any craft. So that's be starting on the 1st of December, and that will run until the end of December, so you have the whole of December to join in, and I'd love to see what you've been making. So you can include anything that's got a link to the festive season. Love to see what you've been making, and I hope to get a few things made that are festive themed as well. Of course, I'll be doing Vlogmas this year, so I'm hoping to do a little bit more filming of what I've been making during the day. So that's that one. But I also want to have a special make-along for those of you who purchased the Mistletoe Kisses advent calendars, but also the sock sets as well. So I'm going to have a separate thread for anyone who's purchased the Mistletoe sock sets or the advent calendars, and you can post all your pictures of what you've been making with your kits, and I'll be drawing for prizes for that at the end of December as well. So that'll run from the 1st till right till the end of December. So those two new make-alongs, they'll just be the whole of December, and then we'll have some prizes to draw for those. So let's get on with the knitting, shall we? I have been working on my Slipstravaganza, and I am very close to finishing. So I made myself a target of how many rows I was going to do a day. I was sort of doing 3 or 4 rows a day, which does not sound a lot, but when there is between 900 and 950 stitches per row, it takes me quite a long time. So this is how I've got on. So since the last time I showed you, I think I'd got up to here, which it doesn't really look much at all, but that's taken me a long time. But you can really see how much it's grown overall, really. Again, it's a little bit difficult to show you because it is so large. But next week, all I have to do is 1 more row of knitting, and then I need to do the bind off. But you can see how those colours are coming together. And I'm really excited to see everything blocked out because it does curl up a bit, and I think that's going to be lovely to wear. And I've seen a few that are finished and blocked, and it just spurred me on to finish this. I have this much of my main colour left, which is Living on a Prayer on my MCN base, and I have about 20 to 30 grams of these 3 left. So this one here is Fondant Fibre in the Sentimental Journey colourway. This one here is Blue Skin Yarns in the Spanish Lullabies colourway, and this one is Lolodidit, and the colourway is I Love Daryl. So those three I've used a relatively equal amount. There's slightly less of this one. This was my contrast colour 1, and there's about just under 20 grams, and then there's 28 and 32 I think of those left over, and I've finished with these now, so those can be used for other things. And I've got plenty to do my I-cord bind off. I'm so excited about the I-cord bind off. I love an I-cord bind off. It's crazy, isn't it? Even if it's 950 stitches long. So I'm so excited to be introducing 2 new knitting patterns, and they will both be available on the 28th of November for you to purchase. But those of you who already purchased kits that they came with, they will be emailed to you either today or tomorrow, so you'll have them before they're released to everybody else. So first of all, I'm going to show the Mistletoe Kisses socks. So if you don't want to see them until you get that email, I will pop links in the description bar down below so you can skip to the next sort of section so you don't get spoilers. So this is actually knitted in the Mistletoe Kisses yarn, so if you definitely don't want to see that yet, skip along to the next section using the timestamps in the description bar down below. So I'm going to show it now. Ta-da! So these are the Mistletoe Kisses socks. They are a top down sock pattern with a 1x1 twisted rib, and they have some little mistletoe bobbles all the way around the sock. You can see them just here, but they go all the way around. I've got 2 here, so they go all the way around the sock. And then you've basically got quite a lot of plain knitting down the end of the foot, so that when you've sort of had a little tipple at Christmas, you don't have to concentrate too much. So I've also got a little kiss just on the ankle here, because they are the Mistletoe Kisses socks after all, and that's on both sides of the foot and both feet. And I'll just give you a closer look of that lace detail. And this sock is actually knitted in the Mistletoe Kisses sock yarn that came with a kit that I sold earlier this year. But you will be able to purchase the yarn on its own on the 1st of December at 7 PM GMT. I'll put a post on Instagram to remind you that it's up for sale. But obviously, if you purchase the kit, the bag that came with it is completely exclusive, along with the little bits and bobs that were in it as well. So I've chosen to do contrast heels and toes, but if you wanted to, you could do the cuff. There is plenty of yarn to do the cuff, heel and toe with a 20 gram mini. If you're doing the same sort of size shoe as I am, I'm a size 6 UK. If you have got larger feet than me, you might be struggling, so you're probably best not doing the contrast cuff. But I quite like the look of it without the contrast, just at the top here, because the rib flows into this lacy detail. So there we go. So that's the first pair I'm going to show you, but I do have the same socks in another 2 colourways to show you what it looks like in some different yarns. So we have another version of the socks, and it is the All I Want for Christmas Is You colourway. Same pattern with the lacy bit with the bobbles, and it's a delicate yarn with little splashes of colour, and then you've got the contrast heel. You can probably see on camera the little kiss better on the heel in this colourway, and you can just see the little splashes of pink and red, green and blue. The third pair I've got to show you is in my Santa Baby colourway, and again it's the same pattern. You probably can't see the bobbles quite as much in this one, but there's some blues and some reds in there with a nice rich cherry red as a contrast. And I do them as sock sets as well, so you get 100 grams of the main colour and 20 grams for the toes and heels. So that's the Santa Baby colourway, and these have actually been knitted by my lovely mother-in-law Liz as a little sample for me, the same as this pair, and I knitted the Mistletoe Kisses version. So I have 3 pairs of those as samples to show you guys. So I've also got a wrap pattern that I'll be releasing on Saturday as well, and it's got these gorgeous tassels on. I absolutely love them. You can't beat a few tassels. So it is a wrap shape with a sort of arrow shaped pattern, This one is knitted in lots of blues I've had in my stash, some of which include some Giddy yarns, minis that I bought. I think they were called May Blooms, in a set of minis that I got from Helen from Giddy Yarns, but a few others from my stash as well. So this is my first sample knit, and there are a couple of lacy sections which you don't have to include if you don't want to, but I just thought it would give a bit of interest for those of you who like a little bit of pattern. So that's the first one I've got to show you. I've then got two more wraps which lovely Adam's mum Liz has done samples for me, and a test knit as well. So this one was the test knit for the pattern, and it's all the purples, and I just love these tassels on the end. And this is how it looks in some purples and pinks that I had in my stash. I don't know what all of these are called. There are some Fondant Fibre, there are some Nora George, I think that one's a Nora George, and there are a couple of ones I've just had in my stash absolutely ages, so I don't remember what they're called. I just grouped the minis together in an order where the colours work together really nicely, and then just started knitting on them. So for those of you who bought the Mistletoe Kisses advent calendar, I've designed the colours to flow, so it will go well for this pattern because it was designed with those in mind. So that's that version, and I have one version that's not blocked. So this version is made with lots of different minis of all different colours. So this is how your wrap might look if you've used lots of different minis from your stash, and this one hasn't actually got the tassels on. I think the tassels really make it, but it's up to you whether you put those on or not. I will put one of these on so you can see what it looks like on. I like to wear it sort of wrapped around my neck like a scarf, like so. So you've got all the tassels showing at the front on both sides, but you could wear it around the shoulders if you'd like. And this pattern is written for both 20 gram or 10 gram minis. The minimum yarn that you need is 12 times 20 grams or 24 times 10 grams, if that makes sense. You could probably get away with a bit less, but this is for the measurements that I've calculated. So if you put that, you could wear it just around the shoulders. If you made it in nice fancy yarns, you could wear it with a ball gown if you're going out somewhere lovely. And that's how it looks. And it's quite an easy knit. What you could do as well, if you don't want to knit any of the lace, you could just knit garter stitch main body of the wrap, and then it's a really super easy knit. So there are instructions to knit the wrap with either 10 grams, 20 grams, but also I describe what you do if you're using little scraps of yarn out of your stash, so they don't have to be 10 or 20 gram sizes. You can sort of play the number of repeats by ear. So the Advent wrap pattern is called the Cupid's Arrow Advent Wrap, and it is called so because it's all related to Mistletoe Kisses, and if there's a kiss there has to be Cupid involved. And Cupid's Arrow inspired this arrow shape on the shawl, and the tassels were inspired by the feathers on the arrow. So there we go. You will need a 4mm needle tip, and the cable length, if you're using circular needles, you'll need either a 24-inch or a 34-inch cable, or what, if you've got one that's longer you'll probably be okay with that as well. So for both the sock pattern and the wrap pattern, there will be an automatic discount if you purchase the patterns between the 28th of November, which is the release date, and the 2nd of December. So if you do purchase it before then, you will get 10% off. So that's all the knitting I've got to share with you, but I do have a number of other sections to chat about. So first of all, I'm going to show you my embroidery, and I have in fact finished my October embroidery that I started. So I started with the inspiration of a pumpkin, and I just started free stitching on a bit of linen that I'd got in my stash, which I thought was quite nice and rustic with its colour. I started off doing the outline of the pumpkin, and then I've just carried on adding to it. I've ended up doing a lot more detail than I initially intended to. That's why I haven't started my November one, because I want to do one each month. Well, I still have a few days to start it yet, and at least that one's finished. I have given it a press, but you can still see the crease marks where the hoop's been in, but I am going to cut it down smaller than that anyway. So there we go, that's my embroidery. And I have some cross stitch to show you now. So it's the normal cross stitch pattern that I show you every week. So I won't bother showing you how it's going to be finished, because it's almost finished anyway. But this is how I've got on. I've basically finished the bottom border completely, and I've actually done quite a lot of lettering across the top there. There's alphabet, and then I've put the date as well just in the corner here. So what I did was I ended up having to shove along the Z on here. Oh, there's a bit of thread in the way. This Z was actually a longer Z, so I shortened it so I could fit 2020 in there, because the original pattern, it said 1989, so I've modified that so it could fit the numbers I want in there. I haven't yet finished all the, because there's two little pink stripes there, that goes all the way round the rest of the work, so there's a space for me to fill that in here and all the way around, but I just got a bit carried away with the letters. Hopefully you don't get bored of me showing you this every week, but I'll just quickly show it to you and get on to the next section. So I am using an 18 count Ada that came as a kit with the pattern when I initially bought it ages ago, but I have a link to where you can purchase the pattern from now if you're after it. So next I have my gadget section. Last week I showed you that I'd made a t-shirt with a button placket on, and I meant to have this as the gadget last week, but I completely forgot to add that section in, but never mind, because it would have been relevant. So I did a button placket in a jersey top, and I found this tool was really useful, because if you're making a button placket in jersey, sometimes if you're using a seam ripper like you would sort of normally to cut open a buttonhole, it could stretch the fabric a little bit. So I used this cutting tool by Clover, and it's got a sharp blade this end, and you can just cut straight into that buttonhole nice and flat, and I did it over a cutting board so that then your buttonhole is nice and neat with no sort of stretching out of the fabric. So I would definitely recommend that for doing buttonholes in jersey. So that's my gadget for this week. And of course, I have my confessions. It's not too bad because it's related to a fabric I've purchased previously. So I showed you that I bought some of this a couple of weeks ago, and it was from a shop called Fabrics Galore, one of my favourite shops to purchase jersey from. So there's a, I think it's 95% cotton, 5% elastane jersey, and it's got a nice stretch. It doesn't sort of, it's not printed so that when you stretch it out, the print sort of half disappears, which is good. It is a lighter background, but it doesn't matter too much because it is a good quality fabric. So this is from Fabrics Galore, like I say, and it's called Painted Flowers Digital Collection, designed for you by Poppy Europe, and it's an Okotex certified fabric. Let's just show you what that says, and it's an organic cotton, so that one it's a nice quality fabric. So I'd bought 1 metre in the thought that I'd do a t-shirt with it, and then I was thinking, oh I'd like a dress in this, so I've actually popped this on so I can sort of show you. This is a Zadie dress by Tilly and the Buttons, and it's got massive pockets. I love it, and I've been living in this version and another version I've got all the time lately. Pair of leggings underneath, keep you warm. And I thought that I'd make one in this fabric. I absolutely love it. It's sort of a navy background, and the actual flowers look sort of like watercolour. So I thought that that would make a nice version. With it being quite a dark background, it'd be relatively slimming, hopefully. So I have purchased 1.5 metres because I'd already got a metre from before. So hopefully I will be okay when I cut it out, and should have plenty. This one I think I got out of 2.25 metres, and I have a total of 2.5 metres this time. So hopefully that, the fact that it's cut in the middle, I might need slightly more, but that should be okay, I think. I'm quite good at jiggling the pieces round so that I get the most out of the fabric. So that was my first purchase, and I went there just to buy that, and then I had to buy something else, didn't I? So I saw this and I thought, oh, I love it, I love it. It's cherries on stripes. How cute. How cute is that? And I just bought enough to make a t-shirt with, but who knows, I might end up buying some more. I think that might be a bit too much all over though, stripes and cherries. But I was thinking maybe I could do a Frankie t-shirt with black sleeves with this actually. I think that would be really nice. But those cherries are so cute. Love them. So this is also from Fabrics Galore, and it's 95% cotton, 5% elastane, and it's a nice quality fabric as well, so I'm really pleased with that. I will now be putting these both in the wash so that I can sew them as soon as possible. And last of all, I have my shop update section, so if you're not interested in that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. But I do have a few announcements to make. So like we've said before, I've got my 2 patterns out, so the patterns will be available on the website but also on Ravelry at a discount until the 2nd of December, and they will open for sale on the 28th of November. I have now updated Christmas shipping dates on the website, so there's a little tab on the menu bar which tells you if you order before then whether it's likely to arrive before Christmas. So, but I can't guarantee whether it will or not, but there's a full list of all over the world for what date is the last posting date from the UK, standard postage, and it's plus a couple of days because sometimes it takes me a couple of days to post things out. So I also have vouchers in my shop now, so you can purchase vouchers from the value of £10 up to £200. There's a drop down box that you can click, and there's lots of different numbers that you can use, and you can purchase separate ones for separate people if you want to. But the good thing about the vouchers is that you don't have to spend it all at once. You can keep putting that code in until the funds have completely gone down on your voucher. They can be used on shipping as well, which is always good, and then there's no expiry date, so you can keep it for as long as you like. I'm sure there's a couple of other things I wanted to say, but there's a full list of details on the website on the gift vouchers listing. So on the left hand side there's a menu on the website, and there's a tab for gift vouchers, so if you click there you can see more details. I have some more dumpling cases in. I have so many colours this time. If you didn't watch last week's episode, I will show you what one looks like. So this is a dumpling case. So I showed some of these last week, but I've got lots more colours this time. This is like a pale blue. And they open up just by squeezing the sides, and you can pop little bits and bobs in there that you can go in your knitting bag, and they're called dumpling cases. And I've got quite a few different colours. I've just picked up 2 to show you. This is like a pink colour with a swirly pattern. And on the listing there's a drop down box, and you can click on the ones that you think you've seen in the picture, and then it'll come up with the picture to confirm which one you're purchasing, so you know exactly which one's which, because there's a lot of colours that are a little bit similar. But if you do click on that choice, the photo shown is what you'll be purchasing, so just to make it nice and clear. So there we go, they're all green inside. And the inside is actually silk as well, which is lovely. So there are lots and lots and lots of colours of those that will be going in the shop this Friday at 7 PM. I only had 5 colours last week, so I've got lots more this time, which is lovely. Also, I've now got lots more bamboo needles in the shop. So I've got both fixed needles and interchangeable versions of the bamboo needles. Some sizes are missing, but just simply because Higher haven't got the stock at the European warehouse at the moment. So I've stocked as much as I can, but when they get them in, I'll pop them in the shop as well. But most of the sizes are in there and they're okay. So for the 100cm fixed needles, including steel sharp and bamboo tips, I'm actually going right up to 5mm for all of those now, because I think the 100cm cable is the most well used for lots of different projects, especially if you're doing magic loop. So I've got the 16-inch cable fixed needles for steel sharp and bamboo now, rather than just having the interchangeable ones. So I'm trying to expand my range of higher needles. So that's all for today, but I will be back next week, and it will be the 1st of December. It's the start of Vlogmas, so watch out for a video every day. I will be planning to upload the video the day after in the morning, so you will get a video for the 1st to the 25th of December. So I'm looking forward to sharing what I've been up to with you guys. It will basically just be craft filled. So I hope you'll enjoy that. And I will be back as well with a podcast on Thursday. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. And I shall see you in the next episode. Bye!